Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. They are old, they are not hip. They are the weird aunties that you didn't know you needed or wanted. And now, for a friendly reminder, this show is for adults. That darling DJ duo, Emmett Davenport and Lady Attercop, drink cocktails, have potty mouths, and at least one of them was raised by wolves.
With the sound of the cuckoo, you know that it is time for the Clockwork Cabaret. Woo! One more spooky edition. I am Emmett Davenport.
And I am Lady Attercop.
And
did you forget who you were?
I always do, slightly. There's also sometimes I go, who am I supposed to be introducing myself, or am I supposed to be introducing you? And I get confused.
You introduce yourself. Yeah, I introduce me.
Yes. And then at the end we introduce each other.
We reverse it.
Yes. For fun yeah. For a lark.
Oh, we're a peek behind the curtain, everyone.
Yes.
to our super professional
planning
podcasting stuff.
Radio show stuff, whatever. Yeah, so we're now into getting closer and closer to Halloween.
It's the big day.
Which is our favoriteest day.
Oh, it is our favoriteest day.
It is our favoriteest day.
I'm a little stressed. I have not started my costume yet.
Oh.
So
what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna see if I can make a horse skull. And I wanna be a Halloween version of a Mary Llewellyn, which is the screaming horse skull of festive holiday cheer. That
I have some deer skulls. You want?
I have deer skull. I have deer skulls.
No, you don't want to use a deer skull.
I mean,
no one's gonna be.
No one's gonna know what I'm doing.
No one's gonna be eyeballing it, going, "That's not a horse skull." I mean,
no one's gonna know what the frick I am, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, the screaming Welsh Christmas skull. Yes, very familiar.
It's a very familiar thing, yes.
Are you going to challenge me to a rap battle? I will not challenge anyone to rap battles, but I may sing at people for the season, you know.
The Halloween season.
For Halloween.
You're going to sing some Halloween carols?
I can make up some Halloween carols.
Just sing Purple People Eater or something.
I hate that song.
Monster Mash?
Monster Mash is slightly more acceptable. I hate Purple People Eater. I hate the Monster Mash. I'm sorry, everyone. I hate the Monster Mash. I don't like them. I hate This is why I ended up creating playlists, because I was like, I don't want any of these on my Halloween too.
I want a ball peen hammer for Halloween. I don't know, like that. You know, that's
Maxwell
silver hammer. I don't know.
Comes down upon his head.
No, I was just trying to think. I was gonna say I want a hippopotamus for Halloween, but that didn't rhyme, so I was trying to go with
I want a hippopotamus.
Ball peen hammer. I don't know.
Oh, I think that's where you were going.
I don't know. I was trying to I was trying to change a Christmas carol into a spooky Halloween carol, and I was just not.
Well, I mean, Christmas ghost stories are traditional for Christmas.
Yes,
so I don't see why I just can't combine it into one months-long spooky celebration.
It's true. That is true.
You know, I mean. We've already got the skulls. Just put little Santa hats on them. That's normally how we handle the Christmas decor.
We just change the season with the various hats.
I mean, I have a skeleton that lives outside all year round. And for Christmas, I do put a little Santa hat on him and give him a little stocking. That's how you know he's a Christmas skeleton.
Oh.
Right now, he's got a severed head friend.
Nice.
I could put a Santa hat on a severed head as well. My neighbors must love me. Between the skulls out all year round. The science matter signs. The gay pride flags. They love me. I'm the best neighbor.
Hey, you don't have loud parties, and
I don't. The weirdest thing is I walk my cat on a leash around the neighborhood.
I feel like you're okay. I feel like you're not the worst neighbor.
I'm not the worst neighbor. I didn't build a deer blind up in the trees in the backyard like one of our other neighbors.
Yes.
One of our,
You don't have a fire pit looking into the back
into my
window.
backyard. No, there's something very unsettling about seeing someone climb down out of a tree that's within sight line of your backyard and then walk back to their house in camo like, well, that's how I'm gonna die. I'd better write that down somewhere so the police know who to look for when I might inevitably find my corpse.
I feel like that might be like some horror story. Like a short story.
Mr. Ducky and I were discussing the other day that we were watching Prom Night, which is a Jamie Lee Curtis joint, where Jamie Lee Curtis is being stalked by someone, a murderer.
Was this before
during
Halloween?
Prom.
Or after
no,
Halloween?
post-Halloween, I think. I think it was in 1980.
So this was when she was typecast as being in Halloween.
As the survivor of horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers from the 1980 flick Prom Night.
You have it.
Also starring Leslie Nielsen.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a good movie. But she does throw a chair at the murderer at one point, which I appreciate. I'm like, if a murderer is trying to kill you, instead of just screaming and running, throw some stuff at that jerk.
You would think so.
Yeah. I lost my original point about Jamie Lee Curtis in Prom Night now.
Horror,
because
yes.
we were rooting for, there was a couple that we were rooting for to survive, and they did not.
Oh.
And we were like, Ducky was like, oh, that's us. That's us in the horror movie of life. We're the couple the audience is rooting for to survive, but we ain't gonna make it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Because it was like the weird stoner couple that was like the star-crossed lovers that hooked up anyway, and we're like, well, yep.
Oh, well,
we're the comedy couple. We're the comedy relief couple that wouldn't survive the whole movie.
Well, I mean, I have to say that I did have my own one horror movie adventure many years ago that I kept feeling like, am I in a horror movie? And then also, am I the protagonist? Or am I the first one to die?
Plucky comic relief.
Yes,
yeah.
like, am I because there was definitely a moment when it was very much what was the horror movie? Wrong Turn. Where
oh no.
Yes. Where
I've had some moments
where
like that.
I was in a car with two fellow DJs on tour, and we had a bit of a car accident, and then the police officer that stopped was like, oh, yep, let me describe that accident to you, and described it verbatim.
Oh.
As like, oh, this happens a lot, does it? And then
so there were like tacks on the road?
No, we hydroplaned. There was an area where that overflowed with water, and then it caused our car to spin. I was actually asleep in the back seat, and it ended up covered in a pile of T-shirts. That because we had merch in the back that fell on me, and so I had to dig myself out of the pile of T-shirts to find out what was going on, and then a tow truck came and took us to this exit where
the one lone exit
where everyone looked related. They probably were. It was the only thing in the exit was a salvage yard filled with dead cars.
Other cars that had hydroplaned and crashed.
And our car got pulled in, and then we were sitting there, and then we had to figure out how we were getting to our next spot on the tour. And so the only thing was like, okay, well, if I drive back, if I can get a ride back 20 minutes north of here, I can get a rental car for us and they'll come back and get it. So I got the rental car and got a taxi, which was a station wagon driven by a 17-year-old girl who told me about her 4 children. And
did it have like taxi written in Sharpie on the side?
Might as well have. And all I know is that while I was climbing into the back seat of this taxi, I used air quotes, my friends Spider and Nature were standing there and I was waving at them. And I had that moment as I got into the car going, this might be the last time I ever see them. Either I'm the hero or I'm the first victim. Die.
Yeah.
and that was that moment where I was like, ooh, this feels very surreal and very horror movie related. And so when I got the rental car and I drove back, there was that I had a whole panicky moment of I'm gonna get back to them and they're gonna be gone.
It's gonna be like, well, there hasn't been a car accident here for 25 years.
Yes, yeah. Or the salvage yard will be gone.
Yeah, the salvage yard will be gone.
Has disappeared and I don't know where they are and no one will know. Yeah, no, there was very much I was like, and also all of this was taking place in West Virginia. And
just adding to the whole Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes and Deliverance and all the movies that take place in for weird reason West Virginia
or places like it.
Yes, which is also why I removed West Virginia from my atlas, and I will never visit.
So we can never go see the Mothman statue together.
Maybe, but I have to be very. There's got to be some. We've got to have some rules and some. There's got to be a plan. We're gonna have to have rope tied around our waists or something.
So we don't get lost in the ghost
there's gonna have to be a buddy system. There's gonna have to be a whole. Thing.
My own personal horror movie moment was not a murder killer. Shockingly, despite the fact that more than one person has tried to get into my car randomly or tried to get me into their car randomly or tried to home assault me because Florida. No, it was a werewolf situation.
Oh.
And it was like, I've told the story about my ghost encounter on St. Augustine before. This was also in St. Augustine. I was walking back from my friend's apartment to the school. It's very dark. It's very late at night. Don't walk alone at 1 a.m., everybody. I know you think you live in a small southern town, and it's probably fine, but there's a off chance it might not be. And it is St. Augustine, so there's Spanish moss dripping off of all of these trees, and a fog has rolled in, and I'm walking along the sidewalk with my a broomstick. That was our security device.
Oh, yes.
We had a broomstick with no broom on the end. It was like, here, you're traveling alone. Take this. And I realized I was a long stick,
yes,
a long sturdy
stick,
a stick you could hit somebody from a distance with. And I realized that there was a dog following me in the bushes behind me, and I'm like, well, I don't want to fuck with a dog, because that's when I realized there was another dog ahead of me. These are 2 separate dogs in the bushes, and I'm like, it's a dog behind me, it's a dog in front of me. I don't know who these dogs are. This seems like a bad situation to get in. So I left the sidewalk and crossed into the middle of the street because it's like 3 a.m. There's no cars. It's a residential neighborhood. It's not like I was like in the graveyard.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that there were 2 other dogs on the other side of the street, and all 4 had flanked out of the bushes to surround me. And and they're dogs. They're like domestic dogs. But I'm like, this is an uncomfortable situation I have found myself in. And that's when the leader of the dog pack, I knew he was the leader, he knew he was the leader, we all knew he was the leader, walked off the side of the road, and it's a big, fluffy, white German Shepherd-sized dog.
Oh, like a Pyrenees or something, maybe.
More husky German Shepherd-y.
Okay.
You know, kind
terrifying.
Of wolf-like.
Yes, terrifying.
Big white, sticky-up ears, rough coat, who walks out from the bushes and sits right in front of me about 50 yards ahead, like 50 feet ahead of me, in the middle of the road.
Oh.
And just sits there in front of me and blocks my path. And I'm like, well, this is how I get turned into a werewolf. That's for damn sure. And we all stopped for a minute. The 2 dogs in front, the 2 dogs behind, big boss man in the middle of the road. And I'm thinking, okay, don't show fear. Don't look at the dog's eyes. So I'm trying not to be afraid and try not to look at the dog. And we just kind of all sit there for a couple of minutes. And then big boss dog gets up, crosses the street, and all the other dogs follow. And I ran the rest of the way home.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I waited until I was not, like, gonna be chased by a wolf pack.
Right.
But that was a moment of, oh, this is what prey feels like.
Yeah.
And can I hit? Which dog do I hit with my stick first?
The one that goes for you first.
One of them was a beagle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Under normal daylight circumstances, this would not have been terrifying.
No.
But in the middle of the night, when you're suddenly stalked and surrounded by random dogs, it's yeah.
Yeah.
And that was definitely I'm not the hero of this movie.
No.
This is the beginning of the werewolf pack.
Yes.
That murders everyone in St. Augustine.
That is a bunch of domestic dogs, which actually there was a sci-fi short story about something similar.
Domestic dogs that turned into werewolves?
Yes.
Also, whose dogs are they? Like, now, adult me, away from that situation. Whose dogs were those? Who was letting their dogs wander at night?
Why is that a thing?
They didn't have collars on. I didn't hear any jingle jangles.
Oh, they probably were strays.
I mean, I don't know. I still don't have it right.
Or they were werewolves.
Or the world's weirdest werewolves.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it was Florida. It's possible.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, a beagle werewolf would be a were-beagle.
The beagle was the first one I saw, so that one and the white one stick out in my mind the most distinctly. But I just remember being
there was probably a were-dachshund in there.
I just remember being
were-Scotty or something like just
oh, were-Scotty.
Just going around with the thing.
I mean, Scottish Terriers have huge teeth.
Yes,
so
that would be terrifying.
That could be terrifying. They're small, low to the ground, big teeth.
Yeah. No, that sounds terrifying.
So we've both managed to
survive the horror movie of our lives. Oh, one of many. Oh. And with that, I'm going to play some music.
There was a bee, a pretty little bee. I see why you might choose it. I'd rather have a madman wasp, 'cause he plays all the music.
Choose the madman wasp. He plays all the music.
Yeah, so...
Which would you choose, death or the toy piano?
Oh.
What if we threw cake into the mix?
Toy piano.
Toy piano.
I'm sorry, we're all out of toy pianos.
Oh, no.
We've run out. Sorry. I only ordered 3. I didn't think it would be popular.
I mean...
There was a run on it, and now all we have is or death.
Now all we have left is death.
Sorry. Sorry. Too late.
We're just going to steal all of Eddie Izzard's jokes.
I'm sorry, Eddie Izzard. I love you.
We're sorry, Eddie, but there are jokes now. We've stolen them. We've taken them away from you.
You stole our bee jokes. I stole your death and cake jokes.
She's definitely stolen our jokes.
No.
You hear that, everyone? Eddie Izzard is ripping us off left and right.
It's true. I'm just trying to cause drama.
Curse you, Eddie. Curse you.
So she'll call.
Yes, so she'll be on the show. Call the show. Like we're a radio show.
Right.
Call the show to defend yourself, Eddie. Miss Izzard, if that is your real name.
I dare you. Please. Eddie Izzard is the next Pinhead.
That would be a talking... Hold on. I'm not ruling it out. But that would be a talkative Pinhead. More talkative than usual Pinhead.
I feel like that is a Pinhead I'd be on board for.
Pinhead. I'd watch that Hellraiser.
Full of historical facts.
And... hello. It was, well, we are going to rend your flesh. It's you've opened the box. But first, French. Did you know this thing about the British Foreign Legion?
Yeah.
I have 35 minutes of material. I've got a tight 5 about it. Let's talk. Insulting all of our British listeners with my very good British accent.
Also, yes. Torture via history and
that's what we do on our show. Yes. Damn it, Eddie, you've stolen from us again. How could you, Eddie? We were fans.
We love you. No, I just happened to like the title of Death or Toy Piano, and it made me think of Kick or Death.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Obviously.
There you go. If you are unfamiliar with that skit,
oh my gosh,
why are you listening to the show? No, go find it because it's very funny.
Go listen to somebody funnier than us for a while.
Yes.
And come back and we'll discuss. We'll have a little round table.
We'll talk about the wonders of Eddie Izzard, and it'll be great. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's not theme appropriate, but I particularly find Eddie Izzard very terrifying personally. But hey,
honestly,
ooh, I would watch him. You know what? I bet Eddie Izzard would be a good horror movie villain. I bet she would do a good job.
She's been a villain in things,
or unlikable in things.
Yes,
yeah, but never like a full horror.
Well, I
she
played the grandfather on Monsters that short brief time, but
oh, I forgot about that.
Yes, yes, that one episode, the pilot episode, and I was on board for that.
Yeah, but that's not really that's a villain.
No,
that's not like a Pinhead. That's not like a Jason or a Freddy.
No, she was being like a Dracula.
I think
she was. Yeah,
whatever Grandpa Monster's supposed to be.
Well, Grandpa Monster was a Dracula. And they went on with the whole Gary Oldman thing because at one point they have a big giant robe.
you know those that joke Dracula. All the kids love when you reference Bram Stoker's Dracula, the popular film, the film that so many people remember that I once posted a picture from Bram Stoker's Dracula into a chat that we have with our RPG friends, and somebody went, "That looks like Gary Oldman. Boy, he really does look like everybody." And it's like, no, that is Gary Oldman. That's
not Vlad Tepes.
That is Gary Oldman. That wasn't a bit. That was a real Oldman.
That was from a movie.
Yeah. Now the only thing scary about Gary Oldman is
old.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why.
And now the only thing scary about him is he's gonna get drunk and go on a racist tirade again. Like,
don't meet your heroes.
Don't read the internet. Don't read the internet about your heroes, or at least the guys you found kind of hot
in the 90s.
In the 90s when they dressed up like a Dracula.
Yeah, honestly.
Only the young version though. No, I'm totally kidding. It was the old version. Yeah, give me that butt hair. No.
No. Yeah. Oh no! It was when he's in that gray suit.
Yeah, it's the gray suit for everyone.
With the blue glasses. Yeah, we
tiny,
all know.
Yeah, we all bought those glasses in the 90s.
Yes.
God, we were nerds.
So nerdy.
Except apparently for our RPG group, which was less nerdy than us.
Well,
and didn't go see Bram Stoker's Dracula.
To be fair, our RPG group is all, I think, a good decade younger than us.
Ooh, are we the oldsters?
We are the oldsters.
Oh.
I am the oldest in our RPG
Let's start
group.
yelling about the kids today and
Get off my lawn.
Their use of the word vibe. That's the real horror. Aging. Ooh.
I feel like there was was Cocoon a horror movie all along?
I mean, yeah. Yes. I hate that movie. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Cocoon was a horror movie from the get-go.
I've never actually seen it. I've only seen like parts of it. I don't think I've ever actually watched the whole thing. I thought it was a horror movie.
It is. I think there's aliens.
I think it's sci-fi, but
anything can be horror if you try hard
It had
enough.
Wilford Brimley in it.
It has Wilford Brimley having sex in it, so...
Oh, yes. No, oatmeal.
No shade. But we've just watched you talk about diabetes and oatmeal too long on the television, and now we don't want to think about you getting down.
Oh, I didn't...
I mean, age comes for us all. Age makes monsters of us all, Emmett.
Oh, and on that note, I think it's time to wrap this thing up, because I've now... The horror has...
Your bones have been chilled.
Yes.
And if you would like more bone-chilling action from us, you can find us by going to agonyauntstudios.com. There you will find our email, our social media, the Patreon and coffee, which gives you access to the episodes early, and you can yell at us about ruining oatmeal for you.
Yes.
by following us on Twitter. I don't know.
Whatever. And this has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
They are Emmett Davenport.
And remember, it's not work we do. It's love.
Welcome to the Old School Boombox here on Mad Wasp Radio. I'm your host, Dan Loisy, and I bring you hip-hop and electro tracks from the 1980s and into the early 90s. Every Thursday at 10 o'clock UK time, that's 5 o'clock Eastern time in the US.